here, immediately calling for the hands up from his coaches. A nice toss there, just grabbing him by the head and throwing him down. And Pat Gionette in a dominant spot here, Jeremy.
When you talk about that dangerous first 2 minutes, and we're looking at it right here, and Pat Gionette loaded up a huge throwing of a right hand, and Josh Griffin ducked it, but then ended up getting a headlock thrown over top, and now Gionette on the back trying to work in that rear naked choke, but you see Griffin is spinning in the guard, and now he has the back of Gionette.
Watching out for the knee, trying to move away from it as it looked like Griffin was trying to load and fire. But Griffin now has Gionette up against the cage.
Good pressure in here. Josh Griffin landing some shots.
Wants to control the pace, Jeremy. Needs to keep it kind of slowing down as he said, more of a wilder fighter, Pat Gionette. So if he can keep it to a controlled pace, and you could see Josh Griffin trying to return the favor on the headlock throw there, but Gionette not coming off the ground.
On a submission attempt here, and lots of pressure being put on that shoulder, but coming through was Pat Gionette, and he gave a little bit of a scream as that shoulder did not look like it was in a very good position, and now he is in on the legs trying to get in an attack. And if he's relocated here to Calgary and is working with Jesse Arnett, you know that wrestling is going to be something that he wants to work on.
Yeah, Keegan Oliver, of course, also in the corner, our undefeated amateur 125 champ, and both of them very strong wrestlers in Jesse Arnett and Keegan Oliver, and Pat Gionette doing a much better job in this fight than we saw earlier in his fight against Peter Arbo.
Well, and Peter Arbo is a different breed of fighter, and we are going to see him back in the Hard Knocks cage very soon. Had an injury, was unable to fight this one. But you see the pressure being put on by Pat Gionette, but Josh Griffin has that arm in on the neck and now has moved it to attack a Kimura position and put some pressure on and perhaps do some more damage to that shoulder.
Yeah, again, Josh Griffin, underrated jiu-jitsu skills, as his last 2 wins have been by submission, and that was a nice attempt up there as he went for the submission attempt before Gionette get him up against the cage. But now Griffin reversing that position and getting himself into a more dominant position.
Good pressure still being put forward here. 1 minute and 55 seconds remaining. And Pat Gionette now giving some big shots to Griffin, who now tucks his head in and thinks better of leaving his head where Pat Gionette can punch it.
Also trying for a rear naked choke here. That's how he beat Zach Many Wounds in his last fight. But again, that 2-on-1 from Pat Gionette, just holding the arms down.
Big elbow, now the back here for Josh Griffin. And he does have the arm underneath the chin. He's going to try and work it. Good back mount here. Does have the grip locked up. Attacking the grip is Gionette. It's still not in quite a dangerous position yet, but it's one of those things that a nice little slip, and it is in deep now. I don't know if it's on the neck. From my angle, I cannot see it, but in on the neck here, and so lots of time remaining. Josh Griffin working, trying to get inside. The grip being broken again. Lots of pressure on the neck. Just under a minute remaining, and he's under the neck now, and Pat Gionette's in trouble.
Pat Gionette's in a lot of trouble. His eyes just got a little wider as he rolled over. And if Griffin can get in there, and Pat Gionette survives the submission attempt in there, and now going for the armbar, Josh Griffin. Gionette rolls free, and he's on top, and he's landing shots.
And he told me he's not an emotional fighter when he fights, but I can see it in his face. He's angry for these last 30 seconds. He's going to try and punish Josh Griffin for having the audacity of trying to choke him out.
Pat Gionette on top. Jeremy, his eyes were bugged out of his head, and survival rolled him over, and it rolled him into a good position here to finish round number 1 with just 10 seconds to go. Gionette on top and dropping punches, knowing he needs to score points here to win round number 1.
Let's see if Gionette loads up that big hand again.
And he's hurt. And the referee not electing to stop the fight yet, but Josh Griffin attacking the spot. It looks like Gionette, something happened to his knee as he popped out. He's in obvious pain, trying to fight his way through it, but his knee doesn't look quite right from here, Jeremy.
Well, and we'll see what happened and whether or not it will force Pat Gionette to stop. But this is a guy who doesn't have any issues fighting. In fact, he's limping, and Josh Griffin is showing no respect at all for Pat Gionette right now. Your leg hurts, great, I'm going to kick it.
Yeah, no mercy, I think, rather than no respect. It's like we talked about earlier, the mouse on the face. If you present a target, I'm going to hit it. And that's what Josh Griffin is doing now. So curious as to what happened to Pat Gionette's knee there, but clearly it's a problem. And now Josh Griffin just landing punches on it and throwing a tricky little elbow up into the face of Pat Gionette.
Well, and now Griffin going for the takedown. Good elevation by Gionette to stop that there. Griffin going for position over power at this point, which is a very good idea. You never want to risk losing position to land a blow that may or may not do anything. And some good toughness being shown here by Pat Gionette, and one of those karate kicks that missed the face by about half an inch.
Yeah, not by much, and a spinning heel kick there from Josh Griffin, and you got to expect that he's going to be coming at that side of Gionette's body. And Gionette, I mean, you credit his toughness because he's still coming forward saying, I'm ready, bring it to me. And the limp seems to be getting less and less pronounced, but if he keeps taking leg kicks like that, it won't. Gionette swinging with everything he has. Griffin covering up. Gionette swinging from the knees, Jeremy.
Trying to weather the storm is Josh Griffin, but Pat Gionette said to me, I don't care what my coaches tell me. I respect them 100%. I love having my hands down at my hips and throwing to everything I got. He said he feels comfortable with his hands down at his hips, and he showed it right there. He actually landed some pretty decent shots.
Now, looking for the standing guillotine there from Josh Griffin. He abandons it, knowing that it's not going to be there, starts to land a couple of punches. The coaches of Pat Gionette demanding a takedown, and Pat Gionette answers that demand and takes him down to the ground.
And some awkward angles on the knee of Josh Griffin as he went underneath, and thankfully it seemed to come through, but it did not look good for a second. I was expecting a scream. The ankle and knee were underneath his body as all the pressure is being put down, and now some pressure being put down, perhaps an omoplata attempt, and it looks like something that is what Josh Griffin is working to isolate that one arm. And he's abandoned it now to try and work for butterfly guard. Got the heel on the hip, now trying to push away, but something we don't see all that often in the omoplata.
No, the omoplata, not the easiest submission to secure. And but Josh Griffin loves his submissions, and he was looking for it there. Pat Gionette on top and working here in a round where it looked like, Jeremy, his fight was over, stumbling backwards towards the cage in obvious pain, and now he's on top and landing punches. Pat Gionette for 2 rounds in a row with an incredible comeback here, Jeremy.
Yeah, he continues to put the gears to his opponent in Josh Griffin, but now again attempting the omoplata. He's got the triangled legs, so there is going to be a lot of pressure on that shoulder. Brian Beauchamp is going to have his eye on this. Excellent defense here from Pat Gionette. He put the knee on the chest and an attempt at a leg bar here, but Pat Gionette stacking up that as well. So you can see the work that he's been doing at Tilt MMA with Anderson Goncalves has really proved off, because lots of pressure there. We heard the scream, and ow. He ended up getting that heel hook in. Gionette is in rough shape.